Right now, the disagreement Donald Trump arguably needs to focus on is the friction between him and the U.S. intelligence community. A fight that today had the next head of the CIA trying to smooth things over. Stephen D'Souza explains.
Do you solemnly swear to give the committee the truth, the full
Confirmation hearings are supposed to be tough.
Will you commit to giving the commander-in-chief, the president, unpleasant news that...
At a time of unprecedented public hostility between an incoming president and the intelligence community, Mike Pompeo had to walk a fine line today between defending the CIA and not offending Donald Trump.
When I take the great work that these men and women put their lives at risk to develop, and I deliver that to every policymaker in a way that is straight up and forward. And I commit to doing that with you and with the president-elect.
In the latest attack, Trump blamed intelligence agencies for leaking unverified memos suggesting Russia has compromising information on him.
That's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do.
His accusations led the director of national intelligence to take the rare step of publicizing a call to Trump. James Clapper said he expressed his profound dismay at the leaks and assured the president-elect, "I do not believe the leaks came from within the intelligence community." Former CIA Deputy Director John McLaughlin says it's a dangerous situation when the president-elect doesn't trust his intelligence agencies.
To just start off assuming that there's a negative, malign agenda here on the part of intelligence is not a good thing, because there is no such thing.
He says things will change once Trump and his hand-picked people are in office.
President-elect Trump has a pretty steep learning curve when it comes to the basic handbook called How to Be President.
And today, another security agency is under fire, this time the FBI. Its oversight body announced an investigation into whether Director James Comey followed proper procedure when investigating Hillary Clinton's emails. Democrats blame the letter Comey sent to Congress days before the election, in part for her defeat.
Everyone's investigating everyone else. I think it's
Experts say it's rare to have so many security agencies face such public questioning.
It is a mess, but we shouldn't underestimate the ability of the working levels of the government to just keep going.
As for Mike Pompeo, once confirmed, the new CIA director will face big challenges too. Today, he promised the committee that he would investigate the allegations against Trump and follow the facts wherever they lead. Peter.
All right, Stephen, thank you. Intelligence matters and Russia were also brought up at the confirmation hearing of Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense. And as he's known to be, James Mattis was blunt.
I think right now the most important thing is that we recognize the reality of what we deal with Mr. Putin, and we recognize that he is trying to break the North Atlantic Alliance.
Mattis was unequivocal in his support for NATO, in contrast to Trump's criticism of the alliance. Also facing tough questions, former presidential hopeful Ben Carson. He's Trump's pick for Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, despite having no government experience. It's been widely reported the dossier of unverified information alleging, among other things, Russian influence over Donald Trump came from a former British spy. Now, with his cover blown, that man has disappeared. Thomas Dagler has more on that from London.
It is so rare for a spy to be named publicly, even more so for his work to be published. Christopher Steele is reported to have left his home yesterday, leaving his 3 cats with a neighbor, disappearing knowing he'd be identified. A former British intelligence officer in Moscow, Steele's believed to have developed a vast network of contacts there as a spy in the 90s. He parlayed his knowledge and skills into his own security and intelligence firm in London, Orbis Business Intelligence. There was no sign of him there today.
In the light of everything that's happened over the last 24 hours, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to make any comments at the moment on what's happened, whether Orbis has been involved or not. We'll review that situation over the next couple of days.
Reports say Steele prepared that 35-page document after he was hired by anti-Trump Republicans and later Democrats. And he was said to be so alarmed by what he discovered about Trump, he told the FBI. His unsubstantiated findings made their way to the Washington media.
He has a good reputation, and I don't know any reason to suppose that he wouldn't have written in a professional manner.
Steele's reported to have built his reputation with the FBI by helping uncover corruption at soccer's governing body, FIFA. Now he's nowhere to be found. His case, a reminder for some just how dangerous gathering Russian intelligence can be. Take Alexander Litvinenko, the former Kremlin spy turned Putin critic, poisoned by Russian operatives in London, a move alleged to have been ordered by Putin himself. His widow sees similarities.
When you just approach very specific information, particularly when this information very close to very powerful people, you might be in this line and you just easily might be killed.
A British media report says at the time of Litvinenko's assassination, Steele quickly pointed to the Russians. So it's no surprise now he is taking precautions. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, London.